You can see cars on track there for the SMTA Scottish Citroen C1 Championship, and we are ready to go racing again. And it's a decidedly gloomier affair here at Knockhill, where it was bright and breezy earlier on. It looks decidedly nice, because I like this. This is what I like to call a little bit more dramatic, you know, given the course of the season. And of course, I was still thinking about, I was trying to do the maths in my head about Sam Corson, not realising that this is like the final race of the season as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out. So you've obviously done the maths then. So how far roughly was he clear to getting caught?
It was clear.
It was clear, right? That's a good answer. I like that. That's a me answer.
Yeah, I mean, Sam's been absolutely fantastic this season, and it's easy to forget this is only his second season in motorsport. You know, and that's just, it's incredible to think that, you know, he brings such calmness to his game, is what I would say about Sam. You know, he's you know, he can be aggressive, he can get the elbows out, but he's clean and consistent, and it's that consistency that gets you at the top end of the championship. Sam's been, you know, a really strong driver, and I think he's only going to get better and better as his experience grows in motor racing. And
yet again, I mean, obviously, as we said, we've got a vested interest in a lot of these drivers, because we first came across them when we were doing the SMRC Esports Championship a couple of years ago. And I remember a couple of months ago, Aidan Wilson actually came up to me in the paddock and stopped me. I'd never met Aidan before, but of course he knows me from doing the commentary on that, and all you say is this massive tall lad with curly blonde hair coming up to you and going, "All right, Dave, how you doing?" I'm like, hello. And then of course you realise who it is, because I'm absolutely terrible with faces, so I've got a habit of like not remembering who anybody's name is. Drivers will come up to me all the time, and you eventually do realise who they are. But again, you feel like you've got that connection, and it's awesome to see. So it's great to see, and again, the likes of Thomas Comer as well, Sam Corson there. Very quickly, let's take you through who we've got. James Hitchin on pole, Thomas Comer alongside, Sam Corson on third place with Ross Dunn in fourth, Andrew Davidson in fifth with Paul Winfield in sixth, Mark Nisbet in seventh, Aidan Wilson in eighth position, Callum Conway in ninth, Finlay Brunton in 10th, Rich Flett in 11th, Henry Gillespie in 12th, Gordon Melville in 13th, Lazu Benet in 14th, 15th place for Katrina Gray, Ian Cochrane in 16th, John Proctor in 17th, and that is the fastest ever grid you'll ever get in your life. Lights on here at Knockhill for the SMTA Scottish Citroen C1 Championship, and two cars are going to get the wrist slap, because those two at the back definitely jumped by a country mile. They were away halfway down the start-finish straight before the race even got underway. But let's go racing then. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 down through the hill. Toughest dip there. Into the lead of the race goes the 23 of Thomas Comer. Trying to go around the outside is Sam Corson as well. Looks like a good first opening stint then. It's a slightly more relaxed affair in terms of speed, but it isn't in terms of the action that goes on here for the Citroen C1s. And noticing a little bit of bump drafting already as up through goes the 24 of Aidan Wilson. And Andy, again, as I'm pretty sure that's not how you're supposed to go, and that is exactly how you roll these C1s.
Yeah, the cars can dig in a little bit, so good to see that the cars just managing to just get back out there on track. Just an interesting one to keep an eye on here. That silver car of Ross Dunn, that was a great bit of driving to sneak into second place, and he will fancy his chances of taking the lead in this one, as well as he's looking to hunt down Thomas Comer leading the way in the 23 car. There's just like, again, you look at all these cars trying to get in a train, trying to use the draft as best as they can. You do feel the benefit of it as well. When you speak to a number of the drivers, they say the draft is real. It does bring a significant advantage, but when you're maybe out that train, it can work against you, and there is that change for the lead. Ross Dunn goes into the lead ahead of Thomas Comer in the red 23 car, and there's Sam Corzine on the inside as well in the 68. Can he get the run into the chicane? Just a little bit too far back, but the 70 car of Andrew Davidson looking to get involved as well.
I love when that happens, when you point something that you think is going to happen, and it actually does happen right on cue. And as you mentioned there, Ross Dunn into the lead of the race there, ahead of Thomas Comer, who is ahead of Sam Corzine, Andrew Davidson, Paul Winfield, all in a row in there. So again, we've got more cars doing rallycross coming back on the track there. I think that was Rich Flett that was involved in that, but look at Sam Corzine having to defend from Andrew Davidson on the outside there. The 70 car late onto the brakes. You've also got the car around the outside there of Finlay Brunton. Oh my goodness me, this is going to be one of those races. Definitely, Andy, regretting having some of that energy drink right now.
Well, there's lots of energy out there on track, I'll say that. You know, as we see in the C1s, you know, they're just a lap after lap. The drivers just fight tooth and nail here. 8 laps to go in this one, so Ross Dunn leading the way, but you know, as we know, the order can change very, very quickly in this championship. Quite a considerable gap between him and Thomas Comer, coming under a little bit of pressure once more from Sam Corzine. Sam likes to make the move into McIntyre's. That has been a recurring theme of his racecraft this season. Lots of drivers do like to just kind of bide their time, try and take the momentum with them through the chicane, and then make the move potentially into the right-hander at Clark's. But Sam isn't afraid to throw that car up the inside. Look at the drive he's got on the exit of the chicane there as well, Dave.
Yeah, what's happened to Ross Dunn though, because that gap's definitely come down from 0.7 of a second down to about half a second. Look at it, it's getting closer and closer and closer all the time. I wonder if a little bit of heat sink already starting to hit into that car of Ross Dunn. We saw that in race 1 where the car was just struggling a couple of laps into the race. Look into the inside then, you've got 3 cars trying to fight it. There goes late on the brakes. It's almost going to be a little bit of calamity there for the 70 of Andrew Davidson. 24 of Aiden Wilson forced out wide there. Contact between the 117 and the 529. We've got 3 cars wide there. That's going to be Finlay Brunton alongside Mark Nisbet and James Hitchin, all in a row here. My goodness me, still Ross Dunn though, and that gap's actually gone up, so it's 1.5 seconds now.
Yeah, the cars behind all beginning to scrap now, Dave. That is allowing Ross Dunn to pull away, but all the meanwhile, Sam Corzine into second place now, got the move on Thomas Comer. But keep an eye on the 24, the blue car of Aiden Wilson there. When he's coming into the hairpin, he's taking a very, very wide line, but he's just gone wide there at the chicane. Hopefully just managing to keep it there on track, and he does just that, but just kind of just nudged off ever so slightly there, just not intentional, but he just lost momentum. But what I was going to say is Aiden's doing a very interesting tactic of trying to get the cut back into the hairpin. He's just hanging the car out very, very wide and then trying to utilise it, hooking the car in, getting the power down early. Let's see if anyone else in that train opts to use the same tactic this time round.
I was absolutely loving hearing the crowd supporting the C1s coming around side by side then. Sam Corzine has got Andrew Davidson on his outside. Just behind him is Paul Winfield as well. Corzine gets the benefit of it. Keeps that second place though, but is having to fight tooth and nail to hold on to it right now. That is allowing Ross Dunn to streak away right now. That gap now up to 3 seconds right now. Sam Corzine though still fighting off Andrew Davidson for the second place. We have got just 6 laps left to go in this race. Ross Dunn out by a country mile here, and you get the feeling that this pressure is going to come ahead very, very shortly here, Andy.
Yeah, Sam Corzine second place at the moment. Thomas Comer's just dropped back down to 8th place after a strong start to his final race here of the season. Andrew Davidson, meanwhile, finding himself in the number 70 car on the final step of the podium. Could well fancy his chances here into Clark's as well, just opting to bide his time at the moment. But he's got quite a good run, taking a lot of power, taking a lot of momentum with him as well. Sam Corzine committing very early to covering off that inside line. So will Andrew Davidson try and almost again do what we've seen there with Aiden Wilson, try and get a bit of a cut back here? There he is, he's just bringing the car all the way out there, as we've got one car just off ever so slightly. I believe that was the 88 potentially. But let's just see how things unfold there. There's Aidan Wilson, the 24, looking to try and make his way back through the field, as he is currently in 10th place in this race.
Yeah, that's right. That was Henry Gillespie that went a little bit bungee jumping over the grass on the outside of Clark's. Very unusual place to see a car going wide, but he manages to mop that car up and get it going again. Ross Dunn now, that gap is up to 2.6 seconds. That's down, actually, considerably from what he had before. That last lap there from Ross Dunn, 111.197, and that now means that Sam Corson is starting to push away. He's starting to clear a little bit of a gap over Andrew Davidson and start bringing in Ross Dunn, a race leader. It might not be over yet. 5 laps left to go here, and we could still have a big fight on our hands. We were seeing that Ross Dunn was starting to get caught by the cars in front, and if Sam Corson can clear that group behind him, he might be able to focus on bringing that gap down.
Yeah, and that is the big question, Dave. 5 laps left to go in this race. If Andrew Davidson and Paul Winfield look to try and make moves here, that is going to slow the 3 of them down, and crucial to bring that next group of cars into contention as well, that are currently led by the 13 of Finlay Brunton, with James Hitchin and Mark Nisbet there looking to get involved as well. So this is the interesting part of this race. Do you decide to work together? Do you decide to make the move? 2 groups of 3 cars here bunched up together, but it's Sam Corson currently 2nd place at the moment.
Another half a second taken off of the lead gap by Sam Corson. So that gap coming down. We've got 4 laps left to go. So it is within the realms of possibility if that pace continues, as sideways over the hill comes Finlay Brunton, just in front of the 529 car of James Hitchin right now. That's the battle for 5th and 6th position. You can also see in the background there Mark Nisbet, who was getting all sorts of involved in that first race there, has kept himself to himself in this race here though. But as we stand, 4 laps left to go. Ross Dunn leads Sam Corson, leads Andrew Davidson by what looks like 2 seconds right now. And again, Sam Corson just looking very cool, calm and collected. But, and this is a big but, Andrew Davidson looking very, very dangerous there in that 3rd place.
Yeah, very much so. Andrew just 1/10 quicker last time round than Sam, but Sam is just committing very early to covering off the inside at the hairpin, and that is working very well for him time and time again. Looks like that's Paul Winfield going side by side there with Andrew Davidson. Could he potentially get that move done before we even get to Duffus? You've also got Finlay Brunton, James Hitchin, Martin Nisbet looking to get involved there as well and try and potentially follow through here. So it looks like we could see a big move in this race as we go into Duffus, but unfortunately Thomas Comer has pulled off to the side of the track, and we've got double waved yellows, Dave.
Yeah, we certainly do. So that is going to be Thomas Comer out of the race then, retiring from there. You can see almost side by side Finlay Brunton making the move up on the 822 there and getting that position from Paul Winfield. So Paul Winfield, while it was looking good for him, and again they're going to have to be careful here because again double wave yellows, they should really be backing off at that point. They're still coming flying over that hill. Thankfully that car's going to be retrieved. Never the biggest fan of that. Green flag gets flown at Clark Corner. They're free to get going again. That gap up to 2.3 seconds between Ross Dunn and Sam Corson then. With just 3 laps left to go, it looks like Ross Dunn in a very, very good position. As you see James Hitchin, the car weaving under, braking there. He's trying to catch on to the back of Andrew Davidson. So Paul Winfield has gone from being 3rd place all the way back to 6th position now. And that's a huge accident. The tyre comes flying off, and that is contact there for one of the cars. That's going to be straight to the back. A huge 3-car pile-up. And goodness me, that was absolutely horrible to watch there. A car stricken in the exit of the corner, and that is the 77 involved in that one. It's going to be a red flag. Lazou Benet in that one. I think that might have also been the 12 of Gordon Melville that was involved in that one. I'm trying to get an ID on that car there. That's the 14 of Rich Flett. So that's the 14, the 12 and the 77. I have never in my life seen a wheel fly off of a car and it looked like it ripped itself straight off the hub there, and that is a pretty frustrating shunt for all involved there, because of course they're so focused on fighting that you just don't see the car in front.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate incident there. It's just one where the car's pulled off and it's on the racing line, unfortunately, and when it's just been so so unfortunate, that one, but the marshals doing a fantastic job, as they always do, to just make sure everyone's okay, and then they'll begin the process of just removing those cars from the circuit. But thankfully all the drivers are out of the car and appear okay, but that was a nasty accident at race speed, just on the racing line. As we say, Dave, it's just really unfortunate, but the main thing is everyone's okay.
Yeah, just straight into the back of the car. As you said, the drivers out walking about. They've got their helmets off. They're having a chat and probably having a debrief here. And as always, the protocol is that the medical team straight on the scene, having a chat with the drivers, having a check, because again, a high force impact like that, you have to take this seriously. You have to take all the precautions, and this is why we love racing here, is we've got one of the best teams in the country looking after us, not only with the marshals but with the medical team here at Knockhill as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it's just one of those ones, Dave, where we've got such a great support network around the SMRC community here, and everyone doing a great job as always.
Yeah, as always. Well, thank you very much. Andy Elson is going to very quickly extract himself over to the pit lane holding area. We're going to have plenty of time while these cars are recovered from track then. So just to remind you what actually happened there, Ross Dunn takes the race win on that race stoppage there from Sam Corson and Paul Winfield. And the car's over in pit lane just now. So very shortly we'll head over to Andy and have a chat there, but just an unpleasant sight, and you can see the frustration there from the number 12 car there, the number 12 driver of Gordon Melville there, taking the gloves off, throwing them down onto the bonnet there, and again they're just trying to dissect what on earth actually happened here, and trying to understand exactly how that could have been avoided. That was actually the number 77 that was caught up in the background there. That was, as I said, Lizou Benet that was caught up in the back. So a 3-car accident brings out the red flag here, and that is going to bring an end to the final race for the Citroen C1. We've still got plenty of races coming up this afternoon. We've got 4 races left to go. We've got the Classic Sports and Saloons, we've got the Fiesta ST Cup, a Mini Cooper Cup, and we've got the Legends Car Championship. But we're having a look as the cars are in pit lane, and we're waiting to see when we're ready to hand things over. And without further ado, let's have a quick look over into the holding area, because I can see the young dapper Mr. Andy Alston waiting by to come and have a chat with us.
Yes, Dave, unfortunately red flag bringing an early end to this race, but it's Ross Dunn who takes the checkered flag and ends his season with a trip to the top step of the podium. And Ross, you must be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, it's been a while since I visited the podium, and just with the way the reverse grid went, I got a good start, a good one up into second, and then on to the second lap there was a very slight sniff of a gap at Duffy, so I thought, you know what, it's the last race, ring the car's neck in, and got through, and I just got a really good gap. I just looked to maintain and just bring it home. Weather's starting to get a bit wet, so unfortunately it's a red flag, so yeah, but great season. If I can just take time just to thank all my sports and sponsors, Straka Gearboxes, BPS Group and Hellcat Graphics, and hopefully see you next year.
And it just gives you that confidence and momentum as well, Ross, that hopefully when we see you in 2023, you know you've kind of ended your season on that high note and you can take that momentum with you.
Yeah, hope so. I mean, the C1 grid this year has been so competitive. I think there's only so far or so hard you can drive these cars, and I think everybody's at that level now, so it's super competitive, clean racing. I think I've said that at the start of this season. The cars in some nick for doing that. This is 4th season, and there's not a lot of damage at all on it, and thankfully they can keep it that way, so thank you.
Ross, many congratulations. Ross Dunn taking the checkered flag in the final race in the Scottish C1 Cups this season. We'll grab a quick chat with that man there, the number 68 car, Sam Corson, who rounds off his season with a 2nd place finish and takes the championship as well. Sam, many congratulations. We were just saying in commentary there, it's hard to believe this is your 2nd season here at the SMRC and in the Scottish C1 Cup, and you found yourself with a really nice trophy to take home with you.
Yeah, I'm so happy with that. If you told me when I made the transition from sim to reality, I never would have believed you that it would have went this well. But hopefully it gives others confidence that you can do the same. If maybe you don't have the funding when you're younger to go into racing, get sim racing. When you're older and you've got the pennies, get your foot in the door and get here and get out racing. You won't regret it. I can't go back to sim racing now because this is just too much fun. Sitting behind a screen just isn't for me anymore. The real thing's just the way to go. So it's been brilliant. Thanks to my team, Mini Max. Thanks to Finlay Brunton. He's been an absolute gentle season. Best teammate I could ask for. And thanks to the West College Scotland guys as well. For taking me on last season and giving me the shot. Just thank you everyone for the help this year. It's really, really appreciated. So thank you all.
Great stuff, Sam. Many congratulations. Sam Cosner, champion for 2022 in the Scottish C1 Cup.